Hey, what's up everybody? It's Joel, aka the Daily Guru, and I'm back with another edition of Something Old, Something New. Today for Something Old, we're going back to January 13th, 1968, one of the greatest live recordings ever. It's Johnny Cash and his album, At Folsom Prison. Now, while a lot of people are familiar with different parts of it, and the cover is certainly very well known, it's the content, it's what's in there, it's the complete show end to end that makes this such a phenomenal moment in music history. The one thing most people don't know is that this recording was actually done a little bit before 10 o'clock in the morning. There were 2 sets done that day. Almost the entire released version is from that first show. There's only 2 or 3 from the later session that were used. For me, the best thing about this is the energy. The crowd loves it. Granted, they're a captive audience, no pun intended, but they are so into the show. Johnny Cash has them at every word. He's in rare form. He is the true showman. He's given them everything they want. This is what live music is all about. Behind Johnny Cash, of course, you have the Tennessee Three, but what most people don't know is you also have Carl Perkins in there for a little while, and you even have June Carter for what may be the most memorable moment on the entire album. At every single turn, the band is absolutely on fire, whether it's 25 Minutes to Go, Orange Blossom Special, The Legend of John Henry's Hammer. They are at their best. They sound fantastic. The energy never drops. These guys are having a great time. The inmates are having a great time, and that's what makes for a great recording. But even with all these great performances around him, there's no question the centerpiece of this album is the duet he does with June Carter, who was still June Carter at the time, of Jackson. It is absolutely explosive. It is one of the greatest live recordings that I've ever heard. If you've never heard it, you better hold on to your seat when you do. So there's no question that this is one of the greatest recordings from one of the greatest performers in all of music history. If you've never heard it, honestly, that's your bad, and I'll only accept your apology if you go out right now and buy a copy of Johnny Cash's At Folsom Prison. Alright guys, for something new, we're going back to one of my favorite releases of this entire year. It's the collaboration between Danger Mouse and Daniele Luppi, and it's called Rome. Danger Mouse is a stranger to very few people. From Gnarls Barkley to all of his work as a producer, most people are very familiar with his name. Daniele Luppi, on the other hand, is actually an Italian composer. He works with a lot of film scores and stuff like that. He also does work in dance and pop music. What most people don't know is this album was actually over 5 years in the works, and honestly, it pays off. This is one of the most beautiful and perfectly crafted albums I've heard in a very, very long time. Kind of like what the Cinematic Orchestra do, they've basically created a score to a film that doesn't exist. But the amazing thing that happens is with every single song, the movie is absolutely being created in your head. One of the most interesting things is that these are all such original pieces, and yet they're crafted in a way that makes them very, very familiar to the ear. You feel like you've heard them a million times before, and it makes you want to hear them again and again. Whether it's the ringing bells that are almost reminiscent of Mike Oldfield, or it's kind of the buzzing, fuzzy guitars, or it's the keyboards that kind of dance across, or it's the amazing rhythms, they've really done a great job at building a complete sonic picture here, and it hasn't been done to this extent in a very long time. These songs are so powerful, every single movement hits you, and yet they're very, very fragile arrangements. They're very soft-spoken. Again, they're very, very humble, and it gives it a very unique beauty, and there's no question that it is impossible to categorize this album. The other thing that makes Rome cool is you have both Norah Jones and Jack White doing vocal cameos. This is without question one of the best sounds Norah Jones has ever had. She's more eccentric, a little almost sultry than you've ever heard her before, and she fits in perfectly. And we know Jack White can fit in just about any musical configuration, and he really comes into his own in this just kind of musical anarchy that's at play. He sounds fantastic. So regardless of what kind of music you might be into, as long as you're into good music, you're definitely going to enjoy the collaboration between Danger Mouse and Daniele Luppi. It's called Rome. I suggest you go check it out right now, because there's no question it's an absolute buy it. So that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor, go hit subscribe. If you like it, why don't you go hit like it? If you want to leave a comment, go leave a comment. See how it works? It's great like that. If you want to email me, you can go right ahead and do that at thedailyguru@gmail.com, and go ahead and read my website where every single day I'm writing about the greatest songs ever written at thedailyguru.net, and we'll see you guys again next week.